The Secretary of State, and Mr. Gelbman, as the deputy administering this at this point, has gone to join himself at the hip with the Franken campaign. He has communicated with the counties and told them simply focus on the 1,350 that were in Pile 5, ignore the inconsistencies, go forward, time is short, and we need to conclude this process. We reminded him yesterday that time is precious, but accuracy is much more precious, and we intend to stick with that so that the enfranchisement that both campaigns, we thought, were in favor of expanding so that we don't exclude any valid vote, could proceed.
Mr. Trimble, the Secretary of State says, and they went over this during the meeting, that the procedure wasn't met, that both campaigns, if they were going to add anything, had to have an agreement by 3 o'clock, that it didn't happen, so it is outside of procedure to do what you're calling for.
It's not outside of procedure. In fact, the agreement had two parts. The agreement also required the parties to agree on which ballots were wrongfully rejected, in their opinions, the two campaigns, and make a list of those. Our list comprises that, 654 that we think were wrongfully rejected and should be reviewed. So when you hear that story from Jim Gelbman, he's not telling you the whole story. He is referencing one sentence in the provision, not the second and third sentences. You need to review that. And in fact, what he's done, he's simply adopted the position of the Franken campaign. He's gone out and done their work and advised county officials to simply count those that the Franken campaign now wants to count. Why? Because the Franken campaign did not participate in developing a list, would not participate in developing a list, and together with the Secretary of State, has ignored the list of the 654 additional envelopes that we simply wish to review, and has ignored that aspect altogether.
Will you ask the Supreme Court to extend the deadline? And
that's a consideration, but I'm not in a position to state that now.
your group seems to be skewing toward places where Coleman performed very well. Is that a coincidence, or is it just the way it rolled?
It is a coincidence. What we're looking for is consistency, and we found in some counties, as I've indicated before, that ballots were rejected or put into Pile 5 in an inconsistent manner. And remember, the Supreme Court, as it ruled, said this must proceed in a consistent and standardized manner in order to meet constitutional muster.